What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over some Flare Networks information. We're going to be going over the recent Moneygram news with on-demand liquidity, a bunch of drama there. We're going to read some commentary from Ashish Burla, general manager of RippleNet, as well as the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. And then I think we have some additional news with Currency Cloud as well, a very large RippleNet partner. Let's get into it. So obviously we are all beyond excited for Flare Networks and what it is going to do in terms of bringing demand towards XRP, the digital asset, of course, Spark token, and even just unlocking all of this value in the entire blockchain ecosystem. This is a massive deal. I hope you watch all of this one and let's get into it. So first things first, I encourage everybody to go read through the blogs or even just visit the website of Flare directly. This is flare.xyz, unlocking value. Now, before we talk about unlocking value, how much value are we talking about for now in a nascent marketplace that is not yet topped by any means? Well, notice the total crypto market cap is approximately $1.7 trillion. We're approaching $2 trillion. Do I think we'll get there eventually? Absolutely. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. I'm not about to panic sell in this market, especially when things are getting interesting. Right here on their website. Remember, Ripple is essentially funding this ecosystem. They're incentivizing, driving demand towards XRP. If you guys study the tokenomics for Flare Networks and understand that XRP has to be collateralized to mint FXRP on the network, and then they leverage what has never been done before, Ethereum's EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, leveraging programmable money, guys, the smart contracts that XRP never really had, the smart contract capability that we wanted, and Ethereum leveraging the extremely efficient settlement, the cost, the transaction speed, and scalability of the XRP ledger. So now Ethereum and XRP are essentially working together and getting the best of both worlds. And on top of that, a better consensus mechanism leveraging Avalanche consensus. You may be familiar with the network and the token AVAX. And I personally just wish I bought more AVAX. I'm kicking myself now because it's had like QNT, like quant network returns personally. So this is exciting and we're going to kind of speed through this. And I know a lot of people are looking for a quick buck, and Spark tokens are awesome because it's essentially free money, provided that the value goes up. And this is still speculative. But personally, I'm not, even if you have, 100,000 Spark tokens because you held 100,000 XRP at the time or still do, I'm not looking to really sell and dump on the market because this potentially could be so much bigger than we all think. And I'm not about to be the Bitcoin pizza guy who bought, pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin years ago, only to find out the value of Bitcoin has absolutely gone up thousands of %. So when in doubt, zoom out. This is groundbreaking technology. And if successful, any digital asset, any blockchain network that successfully allows capital efficiency or removes friction in this ecosystem should go up substantially per their tokenomics. So you have to study the actual token demand and supply too. There's a lot of economics in, crypto and investing, no surprise. So unlocking value, what's this promise? 75% of the value of blockchain tokens is inaccessible. It's locked, it's trapped. It cannot interoperate with these ecosystems or interoperate to even dApps, these dApps or decentralized applications. That changes now, starting with XRP. You guys have been probably seeing a bunch of partnerships that Flare Networks has been announcing with Litecoin, with Gala Games, another NFT project that I hold a lot of. All of them, even Doge. And people might be laughing and thinking it's a joke or oh man, I'm selling my XRP now. I don't believe in Flare because they're working with Doge. You guys don't understand the issue at hand. They're going up to high valued blockchain networks or cryptos that can't really leverage these decentralized applications. This is free capital. And if you haven't noticed, some of these assets that I just named have a market capitalization of billions of dollars. So the adults in this room, the true adult investors that understand what's at play here, are staying calm and composed and are excited for what this means. And I'm also really thankful for a lot of the people in the community. For example, like Martin Volk here, you guys, I'm sure you follow him on Twitter. If you are, in fact, an XRP holder, you should be. He is actually going to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old, so I'm really excited to learn because I'm not afraid to look stupid. I'm not afraid to ask those questions because that's the only way I learn in this ecosystem. And people on Twitter have helped me so much. I would be nothing without this community, and I am beyond excited. So I'm actually looking to have a Zoom call with him tomorrow afternoon, and he's going to be discussing a bunch of ways in where we could basically game plan, and I want to hear his plan of attack in developing passive income, true passive income, leveraging Flare Networks, leveraging, of course, lending out your crypto. I know he's a big Nexo advocate, maybe even BlockFi, but I want to find a way to limit the risk as much as possible. Of course, there's always going to be risk in anything. Welcome to crypto, but maximize my returns. And I've already shared like staking crypto. I'm personally in a great position and I'm so thankful, but I'm also betting that the cryptos that I'm staking that are going to keep going up in value too are going to be here in the future. So people are paying attention to these networks. Keep in mind, Ethereum's fees are very, very expensive. I know a lot of people are referencing this because it's true. I hold Ethereum. I love Ethereum for what it's done for this entire space. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. XRP's brought a bunch of regulation and essentially working with banks and forming all these central banks and dinosaur governments about the benefits of DLT. Ethereum brought smart contracts and a whole host of new platforms and assets on top of it. I'm not a maximalist. I'm a utility maximalist. I believe in assets that solve real problems, and I love that they're all building on top of one another. There's not going to be one solution, guys, and that's why I like Flare Networks, because it's bringing all of this together. All right, so I mean, keep in mind the fees are chasing people away from Ethereum over time. It gets incredibly expensive per the gas fees. I'm sure if you guys play with MetaMask or even just do some like ETH liquidity mining with some ERCs, it's crazy. ERC20s. That's why a lot of assets like Polkadot, ADA, Algorand are already have seen substantial gains in the past 6 months. It's done insane returns, and this could potentially be just the beginning. Now, are these micro bubbles and things are going to pop and retrace? Potentially. I'm not going to say how or to what degree. It's always possible. But as I said in the last video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, micro bubbles often do give rise to macro opportunities, and that is what I'm watching. I'm all about releasing this value. You guys know I love ramp DeFi and stacking that as well, because that's helping capital efficiency, just like Flare Networks. So, you can essentially, use and have working capital with your staked assets instead of it just sitting there. You can mint our USD as well. So Flare Networks, I'm beyond excited. I can't wait to learn. And if I can explain it to a 5-year-old, that will show my true comprehension of this matter. I'm not going to understand it right away, but I'm going to keep asking questions, take a bunch of notes, and I'll try to share what I can with you guys. And I know there's plenty of other great people in this community that are sharing strategies, and I'm right there with you. I'm just trying to learn. All right. So, Flare, we get it. It's awesome. Right here, 42 Wealth partners with Currency Cloud. This is a RippleNet partner. We know that they're essentially global, all about this type of multi-currency approach. I know they're in Ireland, UK, you name it, to facilitate cross-border payments. Now, this is just a coincidence, but I do think it's funny how we can see. So 42 Wealth, UK-based, we know that Ripple has an office in London, just like R3. They've partnered with Currency Cloud to allow its clients to make multi-currency payments globally through its Currency Cloud Spark solution. I love how they have a solution called Spark. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, or is it? You never know. And notice when Currency Cloud did in fact partner with Ripple, we noticed that Ripple now announced that they're over 50% of all RippleNet users are leveraging the cloud. Of course, it's due to maybe the pandemic and other things like that, accelerating digitalization. I always say digitalization, maybe it's just digitization. But nonetheless, guys, I'm still working on my English, even though that's my native language. All right. This initiative will see 42 customers gain access to foreign exchange rates, international payments in all major currencies, as well as the provision of virtual IBANs through Currency Cloud Spark. This is the future, guys. And just like head of RTP at ACI Worldwide, RippleNet partner that sends 14 trillion per day, which does include securities, no surprise, has said, Ripple could be one of the future options in the SWIFT network for a settlement mechanism. Does it start off with these illiquid corridors? Does it help throughout Southeast Asia, Singapore, Thai baht, India, Indonesia? Yes, I'm betting that. And I think that we're going to see that out of Brazil as well. So when in doubt, zoom out. You guys can do whatever you want. You can panic sell XRP if you're impatient, you want to chase gains. You have my empathy. Do what's best for you. But I'm not going anywhere with XRP. I'm not going to be the Bitcoin pizza guy because I believe in this digital asset. I'm not about to panic sell when we're potentially on the verge of regulatory clarity or some exciting price movement. And I know it's been that way for years, and I'm just not ready to part because the fundamentals are still screaming loud and clear. I know tons of smart people. I talk to a lot of institutional investors. I am not leaving. All right, and that is just my personal choice. Please decide for yourselves. I own a lot of other digital assets, but I'm just just being honest and being frank. You have to do what's best for you. If you cannot hold for the future and you've invested money that you need tomorrow, you should probably not be investing in cryptocurrency. There's tremendous upside, but there's also risk in anything, and that is kind of part of the game. All right? So we're looking at all these big moves, investments, etc. Something to watch for, of course. London, beautiful, beautiful place for the future of finance, in my opinion. I know New York City, regulatory, like it's just so strict in the US, it's kind of ridiculous. But London is a financial capital of the world, in the world of Forex, foreign exchange. So that is something to pay attention to. We do remember, and I'm just referencing an older video as well, that we have the finance minister focusing on green blockchain initiatives, trying to welcome, since blockchain will be a part of the future and already is, it's growing now, he's trying to incentivize even the tier 1 banks to make promises to focus on energy consumption and net zero initiatives. Makes me think of Energy Web Token, one of my long-term holds that has done very well. I think it did 100% in the past, 2 months or so? I know it's been bouncing to $17 and back down. And they have a partnership with the XRP Ledger Foundation. I don't think these partnerships are for fun or for speculation. I think they all mean things in the future. All right, so talked about that right here. So XRP patience, this is just a fun one before we get into the information. So those who say, can we let XRP hit $1 before talking about $10 plus are the same ones that will sell when it hits $1. Those of us who see XRP's true value are going to hodl, hold on for dear life, because we know what we own. Now you guys might think this is moon boyish, but if you've done your proper research, you understand if XRP is successful, if it's like XRP is successful, it's not going to zero. In my mind, $10 to $15 is a conservative approach, utilizing just the fib extensions on the macro. But when newer highs are created, we're able to gauge even higher Fibonacci extensions from there. So the sky's the limit, in my opinion. It is like a black hole. I think the flywheel effect that even RippleNet has shown in their documents is a very real thing, and I'm not going to count that out. And we haven't even considered value appreciation or multiplier effects of, I almost said Spark Network, Flare networks. It gets very, very powerful, guys. So up to you, but I'm just sharing this information. Do not call us lucky when all of this starts moving. All right, also, I just wanted to share, I'm going to be like hodling. I always say hodling for regardless. I'm essentially looking to live off the interest of my staked assets. So utilizing these other cryptos that I have, living off those interests, or the interest, and then also looking to really get involved with the Flare networks and learn more about it so that I can leverage those digital assets that make me income as well, lending whatever it comes with. And I'm going to be careful with yield farming. I just want to really, really minimize my risk. I want to be hands off. I want to be lazy with it. I want to be very, very smart with it. So that's something that I'm looking at. Just my personal choice, guys. We all have different situations and plans, so please plan accordingly. And as I've already said, just as like corporations like function, you want a very healthy or strong balance sheet. You want a higher amount of assets. You want a lower amount of liabilities. You want strong cash flow. That's exactly how any investor and trader should operate. Sorry, I love this little Super Saiyan gif. All right, now, this is actually something I want to point out, and I think that words mean things. I think that Ripple retweeting their content does mean something too. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but to each their own. RippleNet is now SOC 2 certified. This is very, very legitimate in the eyes of governments, central banks, and most importantly, the financial institutions that they work with. And what this means for RippleNet Cloud. Talking about cloud, talking about SOC 2 certification. If you guys are in this ecosystem, you're familiar with this and what this means. They're an industry-leading seal of approval that demonstrates RippleNet's capabilities of securely delivering services fit for the modern world. This is an asset with 60 million ledgers successfully closed without error since its inception, one of the longest living blockchain networks that has never been hacked, no double spending like Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic. These are the things I consider while everybody else makes fun of XRP, the black sheep of crypto. There's a lot. All right, so this is something I'm watching, and I just wanted to say, I believe, yep, so Mr. Use Case pointed this out, just wanted to shout you out, man. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely spot on with all of this, so we will absolutely see. And I did see, and I want to shout out Digital Asset Investor. I'm sure he doesn't watch my channel, but he had a phenomenal video that I did watch, I think it was this morning. And he showed the clip when him and Brad Kimes, I think it was in Singapore at Swell, talking to David Schwartz, and just talking about Moneygram, really just kind of being that test bed. We've heard this from a variety of people. We've heard this from a variety of people at RippleNet talking about this. It's that proof of concept before they can really go and scale up and really start pushing volume through. People are concerned about Moneygram and Ripple and their partnership ending. I thought Ripple got a lot out of it. They doubled their money. They did massive investments. They got phenomenal returns. They tested it. Alex Holmes, the CEO, still speaks very highly of XRP. They're just slowing down because of the regulatory uncertainty in quotes. And I think it was a very, very mutual type of partnership. I did see Crypto Addy even discuss a great point that is a rumor, though. I believe it's a rumor that Western Union was looking to potentially purchase Moneygram. Now, we know Western Union is one of the largest. I think Moneygram is just behind in terms of size, is one of the largest money service businesses in the world. And remember all the drama years ago and, you know, all the fights we've seen online of Western Union. They did, in fact, trial XRP, but they didn't trial it at scale. So we heard their commentary, blah, blah, blah. And then remember, we did, in fact, see a bunch of those patents, not with Western Union, but with like Wells Fargo going into India. And I shared Ashish Burla's commentary saying that they already had 50% of all of India in the pipeline. And that was like 2018, 2019, let's say 2019, be conservative. Just some of the things I consider, guys. So I'm going to be holding my XRP happily, but of course, impatiently at this point. All right. And let me see, I want to read some commentary from the gentleman here. Okay, yeah, and then Jim Hyatt, I just wanted to read his too. So Ripple had their actual release, I encourage you to read that, and then they did in fact have their old document right here. Refresher for those freaking out about MGI, MoneyGram, and the Ripple news. It was a strategic partnership with an initial term of 2 years. It began in June 2019, just about 2 years ago. Ripple proved that they needed to, and MGI made some money, all as well, or what they needed to, excuse me. Also, Ripple doubled its money when they sold a chunk of their MGI shares in late November, early December 2020. And it is eerie, I don't want to over-speculate, but it is nice and interesting that they did, in fact, take profit, a beautiful profit, we're talking millions and millions of dollars, right before this SEC lawsuit that came at them on December 21st, technically December 22nd, on the, one of the darkest days of the year. So very interesting. There sure are a lot of coincidences in the space. I just wanted to point it out. It may mean nothing, but were they prepared for this to finally get clarity? Was Ripple, in fact, prepared to go to court? We will see, because the timing of it, if you guys are researchers, you understand. It's so eerie that Jay Clayton decided to bring this up right before he leaves office and makes it a problem for the new SEC chair. I think it's just a giant, I mean, we all do. I don't even think it's an opinion. It's just a giant game of politics and manipulation. We might all have different feelings, but keep in mind, Congress, they formed the SEC to protect investors. And they came at and wiped the market cap of XRP. Whether you think that was, all planned, whether you think it was an algorithm, whether you think it was just a freak market accident, it is all good. I just believe in XRP's value appreciating massively in the future as it starts scaling for these larger customers. Okay, I wanted to share this really quick by XRP Cryptowolf before reading the commentary of Ashish Burla and Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. So Ripple building RippleNet topology. This is released on engineering.ripple.com if you guys want to keep up to date with all of that. And with the topology library Ripple develops, they can programmatically create variations of RippleNet, their entire network of financial institutions that has the ability to leverage on-demand liquidity, aka using XRP as that medium of exchange or that bridge asset. Now, developing liquidity in these networks is key. I know a lot of people want this to happen overnight, but I'm still paying attention to what is being built. And yes, I know I was hyping up Flare Networks. I have very good reason to, because it's arguably going to be one of the biggest things ever. But also, what other developments are we seeing amidst all this chaos that everybody's freaking out about? Everyone's worried about the SEC. And, arguably you have good reasons. You should still pay attention. But don't forget about line of credit for RippleNet users. What is that? Allows users to specifically buy XRP on credit, almost like buying with a credit card, bringing more demand to XRP, the digital asset, allowing some of these smaller medium enterprises, I almost said smaller SMEs, these SMEs overall, to scale accordingly. Those that don't have the funds on hand, they need the leverage credit. So lending, and we already know Ripple has a head of DeFi. It's so funny when people, I have like ETH maxis, and I love Ethereum, but they'll comment and say, oh my gosh, Ripple's trying to get into the DeFi game. Man, Ripple essentially invented the DeFi game. They're getting into the game and already leveraging Flare and welcoming all these assets. They're not trying to take over. They're trying to create an open landscape and let whatever digital asset solves, or whichever digital asset solves the problem best, they're going to use it. On-demand liquidity can use other assets. The XRP ledger has native features and a DEX to issue currencies. We already saw the amazing news of the Central Bank of France talking about XRP. Of course, there's additional speculation when we've seen these documents talking about issuing CBDCs on Ethereum's blockchain and XRP, the XRP ledger. If you're not excited, I don't know what to tell you. That means you're just looking at price every single day, and you're distracted. If you look at price every single day and you want it to moon, you're going to get in your own head. You're going to be your own worst enemy. The smartest investors know to set and forget. So I'm envious of the people that don't check price, because I'm right there with you. But I think the XRP community, we could all get in some really, really good shape if every time you looked at the price of your portfolio, or every time you check the price of XRP or your favorite digital asset, drop down and do 5 push-ups, drop down and do 20 push-ups, whatever you can. I think we'd all be sculpted by then. Okay, I'm going to finish up reading the commentary here, and then I want to talk a little bit about Ramp DeFi at the end of this one. So Ashish Birla, general manager of RippleNet. Anytime there is an updated podcast that he's visiting or discussing, I pay close attention. I think this man is very, very smart. So on-demand liquidity solves a real problem for consumers left behind traditional financial services. What we have to understand is these gentlemen are in the know. They're actively working with banks. It is not just some dude's opinion on Twitter. It's not my opinion. It's not some Bitcoin Maxi's opinion. Ashish Birla is someone that is working hands-on with financial institutions, central banks, discussing with them and fully understanding the regulatory landscape, the needs, how their current infrastructure works today. So please take their words a lot more seriously than you take mine. And I think that would go a long way. I see a lot of people freaking out about any piece of news that like You Today or some random website puts out, and they don't even go to the source. Like if I look at You Today, and I do read from You Today, believe it or not, I actually do confirm the sources and go read through that before I share it too, right? So on-demand liquidity solves a real problem for consumers left behind by traditional financial services, providing them with a low cost, fast, transparent, and secure option. SOC 2 certification as well. Regulatory clarity will come, that's confident, as governments understand the value in this tech for financial inclusion and instant settlements. As we already know, regulatory clarity has already been here for XRP in countries such as Japan, Singapore, the UK, Switzerland, you name it, and some other G20 nations. We are waiting on the US, and arguably, we may not even have to wait on the US in the future. The US is going to get left behind sooner or later, and of course, I'm trying to remain optimistic that we actually get actual clarity, meaning specific guidelines of what we can and cannot do in this digital asset space. Once that happens, then banks, financial institutions, all these MSBs, they have the green light to finally start leveraging digital assets, especially XRP, that has already had proof of concepts. Proof of concepts aren't important, guys. They're not going to just go on board and start sending billions of dollars over a network that has not been tried and true. That's why I'm confident in XRP. And I personally feel that a lot of us forget how powerful network effects can be. Of course, we know Moore's law of connectivity, Metcalfe's law. It's network effects, guys. That's what I consider. It's not only the considerations of highly scalable infrastructure with an extremely efficient digital asset, it's the partners they have and the plug and play and how easily they can access these networks and corridors that are being built from scratch. So very powerful. Let me continue. RippleNet continues to grow. Roughly two new customers per week, with a strong balance sheet allowing us to expand on-demand liquidity, so it doesn't look like they're stopping or slowing down, guys, and pilot new solutions like LOC, boom, line of credit specifically for XRP. As the world clamors for crypto-enabled services, we're absolutely confident in RippleNet's product market fit, monetization, and global use. I love this. This is just additional information, guys. Additional validation that we are on the right track, all right? And Brad Garlinghouse, we're going to read this one right here. Today we're announcing that Ripple and Moneygram have together decided to wind down our current partnership agreement, and both are committed to revisiting in the future. See our full statement. And this is super interesting. I'm personally kind of confused here with these mixed messages. Was Moneygram entirely just a test bed? Did things go wrong? Are there other acquisitions or things at play here? I'm curious, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below as well. I'll be reading those comments. And while the lack of crypto regulatory framework has needlessly muddied the waters for US businesses and consumers, there's no denying what Ripple and Moneygram have achieved together. Billions of dollars have been sent and settled across borders through on-demand liquidity with XRP. And yes, that is good and great, but keep in mind, anybody complaining, Moneygram's usage for on-demand liquidity, their volume was so low, it didn't even move the price up. So don't act like it's going to like dump the price some massive way. If you go at, Utility-Scan, go look at like different measuring methods and websites. I don't think you'd really be that impressed and worried about Moneygram stopping because they weren't really pumping in the beginning. So when assets do, or when networks really start using it, we will know. Guaranteed. So hopefully you guys enjoy that video. Once again, read more about Flare Networks. I'm excited for Martin to teach me tomorrow. And we'll test my comprehension in the weeks and months ahead if I'm able to truly comprehend it and explain it to someone that is a 5-year-old. I know that there's people that watch my channel or you guys that are way smarter than me. I'm just excited that you've been following along and, seeing the documenting of all of this happening, because I think this is going to be so much bigger than we think. I will catch you in the next video.